Stuff like this too. Anyway, I just watched this movie. Welcome back to A Guy in His Room. Recording live on YouTube. Right now, no one knows because no one cares. It feels like what if someone? I feel I shouldn't be nervous, like because no one's watching, but I'm almost like, well, what if somebody does by accident see this and click on it?
I don't know. Anyway, so welcome back to A Guy in His Room. I kind of am testing. The effects seem to be
working. Because last test I did, they were like off and not synced correctly. But right now it seems okay. I can see my mouth is saying the words as I'm saying them this time, so that's good. Anyway, so I just watched this movie, The Menu, guys. Welcome back to A Guy in His Room. This is a podcast that everybody likes. Welcome back to A Guy in His Room. Episode 179. Basically, what I do with this podcast is I treat it as a stand-up set. So I just pretend there's a crowd here and I just riff. How you guys doing? Thanks for coming out tonight. It's great seeing everybody here. How sad would that be? I just pretend I just pretend there's a crowd in my living room. Do I have a living room? No, because I have a tiny little Brooklyn apartment. I know what you're thinking. Oh, Brooklyn. Hope you don't get stabbed like that guy did. Well, I hope not to. What can I say? I don't think, I don't want to go on another tangent. One thing I do on this podcast is a lot as I go on lots of tangents and I forget where I was, like, what I was initially talking about. I gotta say, I do wish I was like a hot girl because I'm not saying I have dysmorphia or something. I'm just saying it just seems a lot easier to get viewers if you're a hot girl with tits hanging out. If you're a hot girl and you
have tits hanging out. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this after I record this or not. Probably not because of all these pauses.
Yeah, so I just saw this movie, The Menu, and I don't know, I don't watch that many movies anymore, or new shows, and this is one reason why. It's funny because I just told someone this is really good when I was watching this movie, and then the second half, I was like, you know what? I just was. I'm just sick of movies having messages. Like, this movie already had, I could tell it might have had little messages here and there, but I was like, I'll just get past it because there was a lot I liked about it. It was like this is funny, this is a dark comedy, this is like a satire about cooking culture, the fancy dining and fine dining and stuff. Although, it kind of almost feels like this movie should have been made 10 years ago because, I don't know, I feel like all those cooking competition shows were big 10 years ago. Gordon Ramsay, people like that. And now it's kind of I don't really hear as many people saying I'm a foodie anymore. That was a big trend for a while. Was everybody
I'm a foodie. I'm just such a foodie. I literally orgasm when I eat certain foods. I'll just get wet and it'll drip all over the seat and shit. I can't even control myself. I'm such a foodie. When I eat chocolate, I literally shake and I have an uncontrollable shaking orgasm. You know what I mean? I'm just a foodie. I don't know. I love going to restaurants, and I like. Here's the thing about me that's interesting. I like food, and I like eating, like going to restaurants. That's like people are like, "Whoa, what?" People like fall down like in shock about it. I'm just sorry. That's just who I am.
Yeah, so it's making fun of that, and like I said, like I don't know, like I mean, I'm not saying it's not it's out of date or anything. People are still like that, but that was really like the trend I thought 6 years ago, something like that. Everybody's saying they're a foodie. Everybody likes going to restaurants. Everybody, it's just like a easy thing to say, but it just caught on. Now I don't really hear it as much. Like, and it could be because the pandemic made people slightly more poor, and well, we weren't allowed to go to restaurants for like a year. Like it was, we were shamed publicly for going to restaurants. So like, I remember seeing a lot like Reddit threads about like, like I just can't do this. Like, oh, like one was really funny because it was like it was all these people competing for like I guess virtue signaling stuff. Like, yeah, I don't even go out anymore. Like, cause I'm thinking of the restaurant workers. Like, I'm putting them at risk by being there. Like, I don't know what if I have an asymptomatic. God, what an annoying period. I mean, I really can't wait till we just forget about COVID. Just like it's a long distant memory because the whole asymptomatic spread, like, and the whole like, well, I mask and I quarantine for other people, and I don't know, maybe I have it and I'm asymptomatic. Like that is so annoying. That like there's a possibility. What if you have something and you don't know you have it, and then I don't want to spread that to somebody that might have at risk people in their friend group. It's like just shut up, or like it. Anyway, yeah. So like probably foodie culture died down a little bit because of the pandemic. we were shamed for actually being a foodie. I just figured something out there, guys. You guys probably don't even know that, but anyway, so this movie is like a satire of that. And don't get me wrong, it's not a bad movie. Oh, produced by Adam McKay. I don't know who what else do these people like direct and stuff. I already almost didn't want to watch it just because this weird looking girl is in it, who's in everything, or it seemed like she was in everything, and she's just sitting there like bored looking there, like I don't even give it. I don't even care. I don't even care. Um, and like she just looks like a fish or something. She what is it's weird we what is with these actresses now? We just go for weird looking people. Like this girl too, which I don't think I saw this movie, but whoever this is another like weird looking girl that we just now that's the actresses of today. Like if you're like a little not little, but if you're like a teen boy, who are they like who's their, you know, like female crush or who do they think it's hot, you know? I mean, I guess this lady isn't this girl isn't really like an A. Well, she's not as big as like Scarlett Johansson was or something, but I just can't think of anybody that looks like, oh, she's like objectively really good looking. Like even I don't know if that's Zendaya there, like even her, she's just like kind of average to me. I mean, it could be because I'm older or something, but again, like pretty much no one in this movie except for that except for John Leguizamo's assistant was like good looking. Uh everybody and then the main girl was like a prostitute or something. And you know, that seemed forced in. Like that's one of the things I wanted to complain about. This movie had a lot going for it. I'm I'm getting into professional critic mode right now. this movie had a lot going for it, but unfortunately, as a to put it in chef's term, then they would put some kind of food related like remark there. um, I don't know. I mean, I liked the making fun of like snobby people, but I think it was like overdone by the end. I guess I don't want to spoil stuff too much. Like, I'll try to be vague or something. So the girl, I don't know how to not spoil stuff. The girl was like a guest of this guy who was really into the food, and his character was really funny. Like, although he had like no dimension to his character, he was just like, they could have probably not made it so on the. That's my main gripe with this movie. It was a little too on the nose with everything. Like, I mean, it wasn't like, I mean, I will say it's not. It was like I was conflicted because I felt like there was a kind of a Me Too agenda there, like Me Too message or like a feminist angle. But again, this just came out last year, so it's weird unless it was in development since Me Too, which was like 2017, maybe 2016. I don't know. Probably like 2015. It really kind of started, but so I feel like this movie had to have been written during like Me Too and Harvey Weinstein because like they just threw in a couple of things that really didn't even. There was a couple of things where just like, okay, I get you don't like men or something. Like you're saying that powerful men always take advantage of people sexually. Like why couldn't he be just an asshole, like a psycho in other ways? Like there was like two characters, at least two, where they made the guys like a scummy. I don't know how I'm gonna not spoil stuff. All right, look. All right, I already said the girl's a prostitute. That's kind of a spoiler already. But her being one was because she was this old guy apparently, you know, hired her as a prostitute, whatever you're supposed to say with hiring a prostitute. And they portrayed the old guy as a scumbag, like like a what a pathetic whatever guy. But then like her character is like a prostitute that isn't ashamed of being. Well, it's not like I'm saying that you have to be ashamed of being a prostitute. It's just like this whole thing, and everyone calls them sex workers now. Like there's the whole like that YouTube won't like this, but TRA whatever trafficking thing. See, I don't like I don't know about YouTube anymore. I don't know if I want to start worrying about like going around so many words and phrases. There's so many that YouTube that like if you really want to avoid ever being downranked or whatever Orwellian speak they say about YouTube, there's just way too many things you have to avoid saying. So like I may just mentally not worry about YouTube so much unless something is like a copyright or because like you can even say there's so much stuff you can't say, quote unquote. But it's not like you'll be actually flagged. It's probably just like they don't show you to as many people, and that's like whatever. I kind of am getting over that, I guess. Yeah, so like she says some line, sorry this is probably a spoiler, but just like some line about like someone asks her like, and you were I don't what did he say, like you sold sex, or I don't even know how he said it. Did you used to enjoy your line of work as in servicing men or something? And she was like, yeah, I did used to. So then I'm like, okay, wait, it's okay for her to like and this is a question just I've been wondering for I don't know how long. How many do they like doing it? I mean, it's weird that I only thought of that when I was listening to this one podcast about prostitution and stuff, like talking about I mean, it is legal. I think they have brothels in Germany where it's legal or something, and I know Amsterdam too. But like these, they were talking about like how is it possible? It's not possible for this was sort of a feminist podcast, and they're like, it's not possible for women to enjoy doing it because it's only for the guy. And I mean, that is a good point. Like, how would they enjoy it? Even if they're, I mean, that's why I was confused. That character saying, "Oh, I used to like, I used to like being a, servicing guys for money." Like, I mean, I guess I'm wondering what do they mean by that? You know what I mean? Like, that was odd I don't know why put that in the movie. It's just like all this weird like this messaging in the movie where I was like, why did they like? Well, basically it was stuff where I didn't think it needed to be in the movie, like that. Like I don't see how, maybe I'm missing something. I guess it's only if I like a movie that I care about analyzing a movie. Like if I'm annoyed, I'm just like, I don't care what it means. I mean, maybe they made her a prostitute for some reason. Maybe that's how. But, spoilers for the next few minutes if you guys want to skip. Again, I'll still try to not spoil too much, but so like the end where I got annoyed where her character suddenly gets like she is just, I don't know, it's like she becomes like like somehow she's figuring it all out and none of the other guests are even really trying to like escape. I don't really get, they made her kind of like oh, she's so clever and like she gets to the main bad guy and like the ending is like, oh, she's so clever, like it just didn't make any sense really. And maybe I'm missing something, I don't know, but just I don't know, just seemed like there was some like, well, she's like cool, so she figures I don't know. Like, it didn't make sense to me that she was that smart that she could outsmart this guy, and she's the one that outsmarts him, and that's it. And there was also like, by the end of the movie, there's really no sympathy for all these snobby people. I mean, all these people were there for for bad reasons. Like there was some reason that the bad guy didn't like them or they did something bad. Although one guy, he just said, I didn't like your movie, which was funny, but, I felt like it just kind of took a turn for the worse, like, when it just got, like, weird, where, like, I don't, like, it's just, it didn't make sense how she, didn't get the same consequences as everyone else. You'd have to see the movie to know what I'm talking about, but, that it just didn't make sense. She's basically a super. It didn't make any sense. Like, oh, she's so smart. She knows how to get out of there, and like she just knew that was gonna work. She knew also how to like drive a boat by herself. Also, I guess maybe it's not that hard. Maybe I don't know. I've never driven a boat, but I don't. It just felt a little like I said, with the part with like seems like there was some Me Too stuff in there. Now I do like I don't know. I mean, I guess I mean, yeah, I like the making fun of snobby people, but then I think they kind of made it like about class and stuff, which I do like more than making stuff about race. That's for sure. Like, but it was a little on the nose by the end, and it just like really could have been a better movie. Like, I mean, like the first like 2/3, like I don't know, 60 to 70%. I was like, all right, I really like this, and then that really sucks when a movie. I thought like it was also like the end. I was like, all right, something else is happening. Something more clever is gonna happen, and then it just kind of ends. So I don't know, if anyone's seen it, but another reason why I don't really go out and purposely really watch stuff. Anything new, I'm just like, eh. But I mean, yeah, not bad. Like, you just have to kind of, I don't know that, and man, what a pain in the ass like it is when you fucking watch a movie, and then they do an ending, and you're like everything but the last like 30 minutes. I don't know, not even 20 minutes, 15 minutes. Like, what a shame. But everybody loved it. It got tons of great reviews. Just weird. Like, I don't like, there has to be some kind of reason why someone's so brilliant in a movie. And, people would say, oh, she's a girl. She can't be smart. No, I'm not saying that. It's just like, how does she just knew that this would, she has this idea and it just works. I don't know. Also, I don't know. Maybe if I viewed it as more of a comedy, which I guess it is a comedy, but Wait, that was the movie review.
Portion of the podcast. With
The movie review.
That was the movie. This is how I transition. I just do this weird voice. Yeah, so I
Wrote a few things down this week. Like I said, I'm in New York, and I guess I was taking the subway more than I usually do this week, maybe, because I did see something that I forgot that it seems to be a New York thing. It's a New York thing. And what is that you're asking me? Well, that is crying in public. Yeah, I totally forgot about this. I don't commute as much anymore, since
the pandemic. The fucking plague. In the before times I used to commute, now I don't. Now I don't commute as much since the pandemic happened. Okay? I'm peeking a little bit. I'm peeking. Guys, I'm peeking. I'm peeking a little bit.
Crying in public, the New York story, guys. So if you want to move to New York, just know that you're going to be crying in public. No, I don't think I would be, but I've seen girls do it. That's the only time I've seen it. And when I first moved here, it's just something that, like, I realized because, and this happened this week, I saw a girl had headphones in, and I was like, is she crying? I kept looking back like a few times, and I kind of felt bad after, like, oh. Because I guess I forgot that people do that here, because I don't think people really get it. If you don't live in, like, New York specifically, you probably don't have a car. I mean, even when I lived in Philadelphia, it was like, I had a car for a while there until it was, like, too much of a pain. But here, there's really no, like, where do you cry, when you have to? It's not like it's so common, but so I saw this girl, and she was, like, kind of tearing up, looking upset. I was like, she's not crying. And looked a few times. Yeah, she was crying on the subway. She was standing up and listening. So I was like, is she listening to something really sad, like a podcast or something? I don't know. And then I was kind of like, well, that's kind of weird to be that affected in public. But then I remembered how people don't drive here. And that means, like, maybe sometimes if you're in a, having a really bad time in life, you might be driving and you can go ahead and kind of cry in the car and like no one's really going to notice. I mean, unless you're at a stoplight or something and someone happens to see you bawling like like I don't I can't really even think of any time I've cried in public. But when you're in subway and you have no car, now I don't know, maybe she was listening to something and something happened to her. Or like something happened and then she was in like sad music. I still was like, I mean, she wasn't really like, it looked like she was trying to hide it, kind of, but like that. Then I was like, you know what? That has to be like an ad. Like, if you want to dissuade people to move here, like just show someone doing that on the subway. Look, I mean, if you come here, you may have to live with roommates. Like that's kind of like a pretty sure thing, unless you're willing to live in a small place like me, like a really small place. But if you have roommate, well, I guess you can still go in your room and cry, but like it might hit you out on the subway. Like there's no car to just sit in and be private. So yeah, I forgot that was a thing that sometimes I saw that. I didn't see it all the time, but I saw it enough that I was like, that's a real concern. I mean, like where, like, it's like the problem I talked about here with finding somewhere to piss or take a shit, even though that's like less. Well, you can have an emergency diarrhea. I've had that here. You're like, you really try to hold. I mean, I don't know. For me, pooping is easier to hold in, I guess. Depends, I guess, though. If you're sick, it might not be. But it's kind of a similar problem, like the pissing problem and then the crying in public. I mean, I would think crying is easier to hold in. But I don't know, girls, I guess, are more emotional and, like, I don't know if something happened. But like, you almost want to say, like, are you okay to someone? But it's also like, well, you know what New York is like. I mean, you have to take the subway. You have to get home. I guess at some point you do kind of become oblivious to people being around on the subway. At first, you're like, oh, I always have to be around people. Like when you're driving and you're listening to music, you can kind of rock out or whatever. But like, now I do kind of like at least nod my head to music that I'm listening to. I don't like, I'm still aware. I'm not like oblivious, but it did make me go, oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing that could happen, What if she just got fired and I was sitting there judging her like, oh man, she must be really messed up in the head to be crying on the subway in public. Oh wait, we're in New York where you can't sit in your car and be like upset. You have to be upset visibly. That's kind of why we're all like most people in New York are unfazed by most crazy people. Although it's gotten like deadly lately, in the 2 years or the few years since the pandemic. Just so, hey, this is just to let you know, appreciate what you have, yo. Grass is always greener, always greener, always greener. If you think you want to visiting cities, well,
Come here and see somebody fucking crying in public. The New York story.
That's the name of my one-man play. I don't know. Like, I know it would be called sexist to be like, I hate the badass I'm a badass sex worker character. I'm a badass. I know everything. And I know how to get out of any situation. I just know exactly what's going to get me out of this crazy situation that has never happened to anyone. And I'm the only one that's going to know how to do it. Because why? Sex workers are badass. And they like doing it too. That is, I've always wondered about that though. Like, how can you like doing it? Oh, I just like it. What? It's one thing if you, I mean, just be honest and say you like the money, I guess, and that you aren't phased. You just aren't somehow phased by doing that stuff to other guys that you have no feelings for. Like that, like the only way to make someone enjoy that is to probably design a robot that actual sex robot that has feelings. Like you make them enjoy it by programming it in there. Like how else would you? I mean, like, if you pay someone, just say, not even sex, but if you pay someone to like hang out with you and come over and hang out, what are the odds that they just are gonna like they're really gonna be your friend, like they're gonna actually like spending time with you? Like, oh yeah, man, like I know you pay me, but like I actually love this, dude. I actually love that I have to come here. Like, like any job, like my job that I actually work, I do work and shit. I do for real work and shit, But like, yeah, if I didn't make money from it, like, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't, like, how many people would still do their job if there was no money involved, That's why it's always like, even on dates and whatever, when somebody's like, do you like what you do?
Do you like your work? Do you like it though? I mean, do you like your job? Do you love your job?
And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know why I get, like, why do people ask that? Do you love what you do? What? I know we're, like, it's not, I don't even get why people ask that. And, like, what am I supposed to say? What are people supposed to say to that? I love my job? I mean, unless you're working your dream job, which, like, how many people do that? I just can't believe, like, the people have ever asked me that. Do you like? Well, I guess like is different. Yeah, so I know last time I talked about the guy that got stabbed in Brooklyn. Seems like that story's been taken off a little. I've been seeing it more places lately. Where can I wonder if I can? See, this is where I was wondering if I'm doing a live. I don't think you'll be able to hear the music. Okay. I guess it did work. All right. Really low sound. Sounds like Star Wars. Okay, so they did arrest the guy, I guess, that stabbed him. And, I just want to kind of, because I've seen... He's still out there. This is from 5 years ago. Some people said that the girlfriend didn't want to describe him because she's so woke or something. So look at all these. This is the Brooklyn subreddit. This is a Brooklyn Reddit group. And you can tell there's a decent amount of woke people in here. Because look at this, 223 likes on this comment about just, oh, I think I know this guy who was screaming at the top of his lungs at me, making comments about how I wouldn't look at him. Also cursing about New York City in general and kick something. It was bone chilling. I didn't even make eye contact with him. I was just behind him and he turned around and singled me out. And then, so that many likes on that, but then then look at this. The only way to prevent these nut jobs from killing anyone is to lock them up before they do. I'm sure he's been arrested dozens of times. Catch and release accomplishes nothing but more violence. 16 likes. you know, plenty of people have seen that. There's no way. I mean, everybody's seen this comment. Okay. As many people that saw that 200 and something liked one. So these people don't agree with that. That, you know, because we still have that bail, no cash bail law in New York City. Now, I'm pretty sure he is going to stay in jail, at least. But, you know, I was worried that they were going to do that, because that's pretty close to me. And I mean, I've been at this bus stop. Not all the time, but, like, if I take the bus back that way, like, I have been at that exact bus stop. Like, I was Friday. I was the other day, so. I wish I could see the video. I don't know where it is anymore. People think she... Have you followed? So people think his girlfriend knew the perpetrator on a personal level. I think that's a little far of a leap to make. I don't know how they would know that. This guy needs to be put under the jail, never allowed out. 14 likes. No likes on that. Any of these comments that are talking about put him in jail, keep him in jail, they're getting no likes. But, alright, I will say thank God he's arrested, and I'm pretty sure he's going to stay in jail. He stabbed someone to death, so... and I do think... Here's the thing, like, that street... I mean, it's not really that bad there. Like, I guess it is, but I didn't think it was. It doesn't look very bad. There's, like, decent apartments. But, you know... It's like... At that street is where it starts to look a little... Like, should be careful. But it's really not like, you know... but yeah, apparently he was kicking over scooters. It was 4 a.m. They came back from a wedding, and they were probably kind of drunk. And he, for some reason, walked up to him and tried to engage with him. Now, I think this guy was a social... You know, I talked about it last episode. All these comments about catching the guy, like, no likes on it. The only likes are like, oh, what a shame. I don't understand why he did. Like, well, I do understand. He was like gonna try to talk to the kid. Oh God, it's just so embarrassing. I mean, look, like, where's that picture of him? You know, I talked about him before. This guy, look at him. This guy, you know who this guy is just looking at him. He was trying to talk this kid out of a crime, you know? Hey man, like, you don't have to do this. Like, you don't have to do this with your life. Like, you just don't have to, man. Just like, listen, this can be the time, like this right now, man. Hey man. No, by the way, rest in peace. I'm not mocking this guy. I'm not mocking his death like a lot of people are doing online, saying, oh, good. Good. It's like, what? No, it's not good. I know he, you know, all that woke stuff, all that social justice stuff, I don't agree. I think it's really bad. And that's why he's not alive. I mean, just in my opinion, that's why he's not alive right now. Now, I'm not saying, like, maybe the kid would have, I don't know. Like, who knows? I think that he shouldn't have done this. I think he did it because of that. I think it's his ideology got him. That's why. But I'm also not going, see what happened. Like, I'm not celebrating it like some psychos are online. He looks like John Lennon or somebody. Just, hey man, just imagine, like, he just walked up to the guy. He saw him kicking over scooters. You know, okay, you see somebody going crazy at 4 a.m. Like, don't go up to them and try to talk sense. Like, especially that time. Hey man, like, this could be it. This could be the time you turn it all around, man. You know, this could be the time you do that, okay? Just think about your future. You're gonna have kids, okay? Beavis and Butthead, okay? The Mr. Mackey type of or not Mr. whatever. You know, the guy from Beavis and Butthead. You don't go up and engage somebody who's actively freaking out at 4 in the morning. You don't go up and go, hey man, this is it, man. Just turn it all around, man. You can do it. Just turn it all around. Don't do it. Why are you kicking scooters over? There's a better way. Here's a pamphlet. I wonder if he handed him something like that. Anyway, you know, just a sad thing. Very sad. I'm not even making fun of what happened. I'm definitely not making fun of what happened. But everybody's using this kind of to dunk on everyone, like, oh, see? But it's like, this is terrible. Everybody agrees that you should, well, he is found. Look, they found him, they found the guy who did it. Thank God, but it's like, anyway, that was just a pointless update I did on that story. Just a little update there for everybody. Just update in the news. Unfortunate still. Still a terrible story. Okay, so this is another story that I just think is pretty funny. This is another story where everybody's dunking on it too, but I actually agree this time because if you guys haven't heard of this, it's Men flood women's job fair after lying about being non-binary. Now, you might be asking, how do they know they're lying? Well, that's the point. That's why I think it's so funny, because oh, by the way, I'm not going to talk about this, but yes, I know Israel bombed, Palestine and Israel are fighting. They're going to war. We know, whatever, boring. World War III, boring. I don't care. Who cares? Yeah, World War III, everybody's dying. I know. God, get it. No, I just don't. I just have no idea what the beef is there. I haven't studied up on the tea. You guys hear about this tea? You guys spilled the tea?
I'm gonna spill the tea. Israel and Palestine here. But here's some tea, everybody, if you guys want to hear me spill the tea about the Grace Hopper Women in Tech Conference. Yeah, Grace Hopper.
It was billed as the largest gathering of women and non-binary technologists in the world. However, a hilarious troll happened. Sorry, it's really funny. Look, I don't care if somebody can be non-binary or fluid or whatever. You can identify as a fluid. You know, whatever kind of fluid you want. I don't care what somebody... Yeah, like, this is obvious, and everybody always has to give disclaimers out. Be whatever fluid you want. Be whatever binary, whatever non-binary. You can be non-human, whatever you want. But if you're making a conference that you're purposely excluding out an entire sex or gender or whatever, look, men probably, I'm just gonna guess a wild, crazy guess that like regular guys, which I don't know, like companies might hire gay men. Maybe that's part of the diversity. Because look, I mean, companies have quotas now. I know the Supreme Court justice thing, like with colleges, they ruled out affirmative action because, I mean, yeah, it's pretty outdated. Like, I don't think most college, like maybe some in the South might. I don't know. It's kind of like it would be hard for me to. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's just kind of hard for me to believe that colleges would discriminate against black people now in 2023. I don't know. So I get why they said it's kind of out of date to use affirmative action. But I just think, you shouldn't be using those kind of dumb identity factors to accept people. So, and they're doing that. And, men are probably like, well, all right, you said non-binary. I'm just going to go say I'm not because, I mean, to be fair, objectively, there is no requirement. You can just say you're non-binary. There's no, I mean, you can do that with gay too, I guess. But like, well, the thing is, it wouldn't matter if companies didn't have this DEI stuff. I know it started as everyone wants to be good and we want to be inclusive, but once you start having quotas, which I know they say they're not, that's how they try to get away with them. Scribe Light talked about this on YouTube. Find him on YouTube. He talks about this a lot, about how, they dance around admitting that it's a quota. They say, no, it's not a quota, even though they literally will have like percentages, like we want to hire X amount of women in top positions. I mean, companies literally put that in their guidelines. That's actually not really legal, but they still get around it. So this is, and if you're going to have these only like women only conferences, I mean, I understand if like, I just don't think it makes sense anymore. Like, I just don't like, no one ever wants to go, hey, all right, let's just have everybody. For some reason, we just never want to do that. We can't. Because, yeah, there's probably going to be more men, nerds out there, than women still. There's probably more women than there used to be that are all nerdy and into technology stuff. But just like there's more men in stand-up comedy, ever since I did stand-up, like, there's all, like, female open mics and, like, whatever non-binary whatever open mic, and it's like, yeah, it's still mostly guys going to these mics, and then sometimes there would be complaints about that, but it's like that's just how it. If it's no one like at any mic I've ever been to, no one has said like, oh, you're a girl, yeah, no, you can't come here because it's mostly guys here that signed up, so you gotta get you belong in the kitchen. Let's be honest. It's a little weird, awkward. We're gonna make fun of women and like talk about women as being whatever dumb and stuff. You gotta, if you could just like not. That's just not, that's just still. It's still mostly guys probably that are into tech careers, engineers. Like that doesn't mean women can't do it or like whatever. But then if men are like being left out, then I bet this is probably like they just had a group together and they're like, hey, we're just going to go to this and say that we're non-binary. How, like, and they're claiming that they're like lying about it. The thing is, you can't prove that. And you can't prove, because they're basically saying like, hey, they didn't pass enough for me to be non-binary. They didn't look like in the middle of woman and man. You didn't look like, I couldn't tell what you were enough, so you gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go. You gotta go.
You should look a little like, you should just look a little like, is Is that a guy? Is that a girl? Okay, you pass. I'm gonna let you in. Go ahead. That's fine. So this is, I mean, to me, like, bravo to the
it takes a lot of, balls or non-binary balls to. I can't say that they're doing anything wrong because to me it's like, okay, they showed up. Maybe that's a sign that, like, we need to stop, doing things that are clearly not like you shouldn't really be excluding groups from conferences like this. Like, unless they have a for men one, like if they have a women's job fair, they should have a men's job fair. But there's no way they would do that because you would be called sexist. Because if it's for men, it's inherently sexist. Everybody knows that would be what happened. So, but that's the only way to be fair about it. I mean, and to be fair, like non-binary, like what is that? Like that is like you're opening up to a more vague category. Like, yeah, if you want to say N trans, you could still go and just say, I'm questioning trans or something. I understand, I guess, that you're like, oh, well, this is just like really funny moment. This is
such a moment, teachable moment. Teachable moment. Teachable moment.
what's the Oh, so both these sites are criticizing it. Maybe they're like right-leaning, I don't know. So this is the quote that, so they had a problem with this, with men going, cisgender men. Now here's the thing. How do you prove they're cisgender men? That's another thing. I mean, it's like, I don't know. Like that's another thing. Like you can't really prove they're cisgender. Like they could be trans men, like female and male, but they're like just from looking at them, they're labeling them as cisgender men, right? I mean, unless they're like checking after. Like I don't think so because it seems like they spoke during it. All right, so this is the. I apologize if the music's too low or too loud. I can't really tell. Instead of catering to its intended audience that paid about $1,300 per ticket just to get in the doors, organizers soon realized that cisgender men had flooded the conference allegedly for their own personal gain. Now that's subjective. I mean, for their own personal gain, that's why women are there too. This is supposed to be a joyous event that centers around you, Anita B. Chief Impact Officer Cullen White told attendees on September 27th. Yesterday, it became clear that there are a far greater number of cisgender men attending than we anticipated. Quote, simply put, some of you lied when you registered, and as evidenced by the stacks and stacks of resumes you're putting out, you did so because you thought you could come here and take space to try and get a job, which is what women were doing anyway. Well, guess what? We need male allies. We need men who want to celebrate women, work with and for women. So we welcome men to learn and support and improve, but not actually to get jobs. Okay, look, they're really kind of coming out with their true colors here because, they're saying we'll let you be allies, guys. We'll let you support us getting jobs. I mean, because that's what this is for. It's not just it's not even one of these like, hey, let's talk about women in the workplace. This is a job fair, I'm not even saying you shouldn't have a women event, Like, you can have women events, but, like, then you should be allowed to have men events. I mean, I know that it used to be, Yes, I know, men. It used to be a kind of a men's club. Yes, that was the culture back in the whenever pre-1960s or whatever. But then eventually it evolved. We're a lot more accepting now. For some reason, people don't like to, just say we got better at things. They just want us to be fighting always. Because, because like, Adam Carolla said on one of his shows recently, like, well, he was talking about racism and how you kind of like, once you have these fighting racism, an industry of fighting racism, you need racism to continue then. It's the same thing with this. Like, you kind of have to pretend, even if it's not true, that like women are still suffering and like not, are getting pushed down. And, this really goes against that. If men are like, fuck, we really need jobs, let's just go say we're non-binary. Like, did they go to just fuck it up? Probably not, honestly. I mean, I wish they got quotes from the guys that did that. Let's see here. Men apparently took, I just don't agree with this because, like I said, there's no men's only job fair. You can't, like this, it doesn't make sense anymore. Like, don't, stop pretending that we're still back in the 50s. Like, stop it. Be a little honest. Even if you had some honesty, like, hey, we'll do a men's, I don't know what you would say, but I just don't think you can really even prove to try to prove that they're cisgender men. Like, that's like a really stupid idea. Like, I would just say, look, there were more men. Like, we didn't really expect men, but I don't know. I wouldn't slam the guys, honestly, because like they're, ugh. I mean, look at from that message, they're saying men are not welcome, and they should just be out with it then, if that's what they mean, because that's what they mean. And even this terminology, soon they realized cisgender men flooded the conference for their own personal gain. Yeah, was this malicious, evil plot? No, they just want jobs, like the same as women. Maybe they do. How are you going to even say that they're anti-women? Like, because they went, that means they're anti-women because they're taking up space. Honestly, I bet that there was plenty of room there. I mean, because like I was comparing it to stand-up and open mics. I know that might be a dumb comparison, but there is mostly guys at open mics still. Yes, there's more women trying it now than probably used to. Yes, there's more than there used to be, but it's still mostly guys. Like, there's still mostly guys in tech, like I said. I mean, and if that's the case, then probably they had plenty of space for the guys to go. It probably had nothing to do with the actual space. I bet you how did they take? I don't know. Unless women reached out and were like, hey, I wanted a ticket, but it was sold out and all these guys went. Maybe, I still think you shouldn't have these like segregated events anymore. We should actually try to be equal at some point. Yeah, there was a lot of guys who seemed to be taking over the spaces. Unlike events in the past where everyone was polite, the men were pushing and shoving. Were they? I don't know. I wasn't there. Oh my God. Others called out the organization for having a white male as its chief impact officer. And not speaking up strongly enough for allies. Or another question, how will you determine who qualifies as non-binary and who doesn't? Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing. there is no way to do that. That's probably even less legal to say that, like, you have to show, like, how would you even prove that you're non-binary? Like, that's just a mental thing. Like, oh, you wear, like, clothes that a lesbian might wear, but you're a guy? Like, what? Like, how would you even say that? Just, you know what? They're probably going to take, and this is the only thing they can do, they're going to take the non-binary out of that description. But then, what about trans women? You know? Think about that, guys. What about trans women? You know what I do if I'm at an event and I really want to make a impact, like in my speech, I'll just say like, and what about trans people? We have to support them, and then I just wait for the applause. And it has nothing to do with my speech, but I just say it, you know? The men were just purely there for the career fair. Oh, because the women weren't there for that? Yeah, the women were just there to uplift other women. Yeah, women are really supportive of other women, that's for sure. They're not catty and mean girl like to other women. They're not, you know, they're not competitive with each other at all. They just, hey, if a woman goes for a job and another woman gets the job instead of them, they're just like, you go, girl, and they don't even care. They just want to support women. That's it. Like, and if they get it or no, they don't even care. You know, just imagine, like, no man would even be that fake to say that. Yeah, man. Well, you got the job and you're a guy, so that's good. At least a guy got the job. That's the most important thing. Who would do that? Who would be that stupid? I just care about my, you know, sex and gender. That, like, I don't have to win. It can be just a woman in general, or a trans woman. I would actually, like, go ahead and resign from your job and give it to someone else then. That's kind of what happened after George Floyd. Remember, like, I should look this up because, I mean, this was another public hysteria moment. Was, you know, like, yeah, this was June 2020. I mean, this was George Floyd, like, just happened. And then what happened? What happened? Oh, did George Floyd make a big social change with everyone? Like, you know, is everybody, like, you know, joined together and did a lot of meaningful stuff? I'll tell you what happened. Cleveland doesn't have a white guy voicing him anymore. That's what happened. Thank you, George Floyd, for making that. You know, everybody really showed that it's not like dumb little superficial things that changed. Finally, real change is happening. This guy decided to just quit the job that he did for 20 years because racism, because George Floyd. And this was all the language they used back then. He stepped down and let someone else, and fuck. Oh my god. This was dumb as fuck because these were cartoons that these happened. I mean, yeah, this wasn't a live action thing where, like, a guy in blackface, a white guy was in blackface. I mean, this is a cartoon character that he probably made up the character. Mike Henry stepped down. This happened in June 2020. Mike Henry has, I don't know if I can find some sad music here.
Premiumbeat.com.
Guys, I'm stepping down. Mike Henry has stepped down from playing the character
Or forever.
in the latest in a slew of white actors abdicating roles voicing animated characters of color. Now, you might be correctly thinking, well, these are cartoon characters. And if you say of color, it's literally like you pick the color because you're drawing. You know who else is an animated character of color? The Simpsons, but they're yellow. Is that yellow face? No one's ever asked that. When will they step down as a cartoon family? When will they
Step the fuck down as yellow-faced Simpsons characters. Homer. Yeah, Homer. It's your conscience calling. Don't you think it's time to step down? Let's say sorry to all the Asian people and all the yellow, real-life yellow people that maybe are sick in real life and somehow are the color yellow. When will you step down, Homer, and the rest of the Simpsons? When? When will the Smurfs step down as characters of blue color, everyone? When will you step down? I don't know what accent I'm doing. When will the Smurfs step down as characters of color? Henry, who also voiced the character on the now canceled The Cleveland Show, was canceled? Wow. It's been an honor to play the character for 20 years, but I decided to quit because I'm a retard. I love this character, but persons of color. Bravo, Mike Henry. Bravo fucking oh.
You didn't say people of color, you didn't say black people, you said persons of color. And I thank you for that. And I shed a tear this day on Mike Henry, voice of fake, not real person Cleveland Brown. Will the character that voices Mr. Hanky in South Park step down? He is a character of brown color. When will he step down and do the right thing? That's what I want to fucking know.
Fucking no. Okay. When will you step down and do the right thing? When will you step the fuck down? Okay. I love this character, he said.
But I will be stepping down from the role. And the announcement comes shortly after. The Simpsons, a Fox show like Family Guy, declared it no longer will have white actors voice non-white characters. The decision comes months after Hank Azaria said he would no longer voice the popular Simpsons character Apu, which has been characterized as a racist, stereotypical, demeaning portrayal of South Asian people. What if someone did an offensive accent?
While, like, stepping down.
Yo, it's been an honor to play Cleveland and shit on Family Guy, y'all. But for real, yo, I love this character, but persons of color, brothers of color, should play characters of color, son, and word. Therefore, I will be stepping the fuck down, motherfucker, from the role, bitch. And now I'm gonna go eat some fried chicken.
I am very sorry for playing.
I can't think of an Asian person. When will Matt Stone or Trey Parker or whoever does the voice for the Asian guy in South Park step down? I am very sorry for playing Asian man on South Park. I will no longer voice the character. I will no longer voice Apu from the Simpsons. I will no longer go to the quick amount. Thank you, come again. And by signing off, I would say, thank you, come again. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. All right, so Jenny Slate stepped down I mean, that show wasn't on very long, so whatever. Oh, this is so fucking ridiculous. You're an idiot if you do this. You're a fucking... Here's why. Because first of all, you're admitting that you, like, knew it was... I just don't get it. Oh my god. Alison Brie, who voiced Vietnamese character Diane something on Netflix's BoJack Horseman, also spoke out, saying she wishes she hadn't voiced the character. I understand that people of color should always voice people of... I can't do it Vietnamese. We missed a great opportunity to represent the Vietnamese American community accurately and respectfully, and for that I'm truly sorry. So Jenny Slate stepped down from playing a, I don't know, mixed race girl? What races? Black characters on an animated show should be voiced by black people. Only they can voice... Ugh. I mean, I guess, I don't know. I guess if it's a new show starting out, like maybe I would, if they asked you to do, well, I admit, like, the only way I would really understand this, like, is if you were, like, people that were, like, trying out for the role were the race, and you were, like, picked and you're white or something. Or if, like, they ask you to do an offensive accent or something. They ask you to talk a certain way. Because, like, really, Cleveland Brown doesn't talk like a black guy, like a stereotypical, like, you know, chef from South Park or something. He just talks like, I'm Cleveland Brown. Like, he doesn't really talk like any other black guy I've heard. He's just a pretty unique voice, I think. I don't know about those other characters, but, I mean, yeah, Pooh was an Indian accent. I mean, it was literally a stereotype of that. But, I mean, The Simpsons has been going on since the 80s, you know? I just would be like, and I don't think they've even had a Pooh back on again. I mean, I can't believe how long The Simpsons was on even, so. But good for him, he saved racism.
He saved America. He saved civil rights. So he did a lot of good, yeah. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Premiumbeat.com.
Thank you.
Premium.
Thank you, Mike Henry. For saving racism, for solving racism by stepping down. Thank you for stepping down, everyone should step down. I should step down. Everyone should step down. Porn actors should step down because any porn actress who's had sex with a black guy should step down. Because, like, that's, I don't know, somehow racist, I guess. Because a lot of them say, like, black dick or that's the category of porn. That's racism, so step down. Just step down. Anya, whatever. This actress should step down from the representing fish eye face. I know that's mean, but I just don't understand what is happening. Like, every new actress looks odd. I'm not saying ugly, by the way. I'm just saying, like, what is going on? Like, look at that.
Premiumbeat.com.
I don't know. It's just weird. I'm gonna go look at.
Premiumbeat.com.
Why do Anya Taylor-Joy's eyes look so strange? I mean, look, I don't, you know, she's like on the top of the world, so like I don't feel that bad that people are actually noticing this. Yeah, see what I mean? Look at this. Man, that's weird. She's like AI, she's like a hybrid of alien, human or something. Weird face, what? What the hell? You can't really feel that bad. I mean, she's like an... Man, what's with her face? It's not just her eyes. What is that? Her cheekbones are... It looks like, I mean, I'm sorry, it just looks like an AI or something. Yeah, I can see, like, why, because I guess models always looked weird to me. Like, all the models, except in the 90s, there were, like, normal, there was a trend of normal-looking women. Like, Cindy Crawford doesn't look weird to me, you know? Now, and then it became... Which is how the weirdest looking people. What is going on? I don't know why they put it. I don't think Asian people's eyes are far apart like that. Look, what is going on? Oh, they're saying there's some kind of syndrome. Yeah, I mean, she kind of looks like hypothyroid, whatever. What? Like, is this Photoshop? This can't be real. Some of these, like, I mean, she looks like AI. Oh, there she looks a little more normal, but... Oh my God. What the fuck? She looks so weird. I mean, she looks also like anorexic. I mean, maybe that's what the thing is that I'm noticing. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not trying to be a bully. I guess she's a real human, you know. Oh, brother. Anyway, that was, that's it for this episode, I guess.
I'm gonna get surgery so I look like her. What if like girls started to...
What if like young girls started like, oh, I want surgery to make my eyes look like that. Can you just make me look like that?
Just make me look like her, yeah. She looks like a fucking robot. Yeah. Oh my God. 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 Yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for... How do I end this? How do I end this? How do I end this?